What's going on, sports fans? Sorry, I don't have my intro like I normally do, but happy Tuesday. Coming at you live from Boston, Massachusetts. How is everybody hanging this morning? Schultzy's card pulls back with another hopeful Target.com restock, broadcasting live from Boston. Basically have a green screen behind me because otherwise it's just like a bunch of blinds. But we are set up. We are ready to go. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah to everybody out there. How's everybody doing out there? What's going on, everybody? Definitely a fat restock last week. That was horrible. So let me know. I apologize. I didn't have a chance to set up a poll, but let me know. Did anybody ever see Illusions? Because I'll tell you what, that was definitely a weird one last week. MEZ says, Schultzy's in Boston. Odds a Christmas tree in the background? No, I just set up basically against a wall. So that's what I'm doing this morning. But how is everybody doing? Let me know in the comments below. A little bit of a different vibe. Obviously some Christmas music going on this week. Everybody hopefully spending time with family or looking forward to doing so. There we go. That should make that little thingy go away in the back. Sorry about that, guys. Forgot one of my lights this morning. Hope everybody is hanging out for the holiday season as we hopefully see a restock from Target.com. But I'll be honest, guys, it's definitely a different vibe after the weird one last week. Oh, my goodness. Anybody that was hanging around last Thursday after we waited 3 weeks for a restock, absolutely disappointed as hell, so I do apologize. It was rough. It was rough for sure. Ragnar says, in-laws scratching at the door. They are still asleep right now, I think, although they'll probably be up soon. Yeah, somebody says, welcome to East Coast time. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, you guys, this week I'm an East Coastie. Coming at you live from Boston. We are 3 minutes away from the hot zone regardless, so get ready. Get ready. Just in case Target does decide to drop sports cards this week. I'll be honest, guys, after last week, not really sure exactly what we're going to be expecting. Others are saying consoles. Some are saying, hey, you know, they could be restocking sports cards in a pretty quick fashion because they had so little on that restock last week, but who knows? Jigglypuff says, mind-blowing how much hoarding of football and basketball is going on. Is it a bubble? Jigglypuff bringing up a great point that I actually, I love to keep people aware of. Make sure you guys remember that it is not a supply and demand problem as far as the hobby goes right now. It is a hoarding and price gouging problem. That's the issue. That would be the issue, hoarding and price gouging. So when people have all these boxes of football and basketball cards sitting in their garages, of course, they're hoping that those are going to end up long-term being all kinds of crazy valuable. And I'm for investing in sealed wax, you guys. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but trying to buy it right off the shelves at MSRP to do that, man, let somebody rip that stuff. Let somebody rip that stuff. That's my philosophy, at least in the year that it's released. So people may hate that, but that's what I think about it. Joe Wilson says, the audio sounds better. Well, that's good. I got a nice travel setup with me. Sal says, the music is putting me to sleep. Yeah, dude, it's kind of up and down. We got some different, like, operatic music in there as well as some jazz Christmas. I know not everybody loves Christmas music, but I love Christmas music, and it's my show. So figured I'd be doing it. Siski Whiskey says, Schultzy will be in Boston all week. I will be in Boston until Thursday afternoon. Then I'm headed back to my house on the West Coast. Joe says, Big Daddy Schultzy, we're out here in New Jersey. Heck yeah. Love it, you guys. Yeah, Tommy Two Dimes says, you'll be in the East Coast bubble now, guys. We are about 30 seconds away from the hot zone. And, of course, as we wait for stuff, hopefully to drop from Target.com, we can go over all kinds of stuff going on in the world of sports. And, of course, thank you so much to Otis for sponsoring this live stream. We'll be hearing a word from them shortly. And we are officially in the hot zone right now on Schultzy's card pulls, you guys. 7 a.m. Pacific time. Or excuse me. See, I already screwed it up. I knew I was going to screw it up at least once. It might happen again. 7 a.m. East Coast time, 4 a.m. Pacific time. So all you West Coasties, I know, it's extra tough to get up this early. But for those of you that are here, welcome, and I appreciate you, man. Ben says, good morning, Schultzy. Curse Gamer says, sealed hobby is already crazy high. Yeah, you're talking basically for a premium product anywhere from $800 to like $1,500 right now. I don't think we're seeing like the new hobby boxes coming out going for $2,000 like we did last year, but we're still seeing some pretty high prices. Lions Luck Sports Cards says they owe us a drop today after that debacle last week. So yeah, you guys, let's go over really quickly. What happened last week as we wait for hopefully seeing a drop from Target.com again this morning. But honestly, guys, I'm not so confident. But let's take a look at last week, what happened. Basically, a drop after 3 weeks finally happening. However, it was pretty bunk. We did see all the Optic basketball retail products available. Of course, there were only, I think at the max 2,000 or 3,000 of those. Then we saw 300 Prism basketball megas dropped, and then some select football pretty randomly. 13,000 select football blasters. That was actually kind of the hot item of last week. Pretty random. And then absolute football hangers as well. Matt Skinner says, investing in sealed hobby, not retail, makes no sense. I'm assuming that if people are buying 30, 50 grand of a certain product to sit on, it would most likely be hobby boxes and not retail boxes. Definitely sit on a few retail boxes, but I think that as far as buying up thousands upon thousands upon thousands of retail boxes for any release, unless it's Prism and the rookie class is just red hot like Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert was last year. And look at this year, you guys, the names, other than Burrow and Herbert, have cooled off from the 2020 class. You haven't really heard much from Jalen Hurts, kind of an up and down year, but people aren't really too high on his cards right now. Same story with Tua Tagovailoa. I know he's been fighting injuries all year, but regardless of what the situation is, and none of those other guys like Ian Book or not Ian Book, I'm thinking of this year's rookie class. I'm thinking last year of Jacob Eason and all those other guys that were kind of that third tier we were hoping maybe would get a chance. Even jumping teams, Jacob Eason not really on his original team anymore, obviously, they never really got any chances either. So just Herbert and Burrow, and that alone kind of holding the value of Prism football up, which isn't surprising. But once again, that's probably the only situation where you're going to be investing in retail and coming out on top. And this year, actually a great question from Joe Santinello. Schultz, do you think the PSA 10 Mac Jones hype will die? Great question to ask me. As I am in Boston, I think that it's already actually, the bubble is going down a little bit on the Mac Jones cards. And I think that for the PSA 10s to continue to be selling, $1,500, $2,000, which is crazy for a Don Russ rated rookie to be selling, even if it's a PSA 10 for $1,500, $2,000. That has to go down unless that quarterback's going to end up being the greatest thing of all time or the next guaranteed Hall of Famer. So I would assume that bubble's going to burst a little bit. I think we've already seen it bursting a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see with Mac Jones. Joe says they will never play. No, you're not wrong. Oh, Jordan Love, thank you. That's another. I knew I was forgetting somebody. Elite Main says Jordan Love, obviously waiting for his chance, but he's looked okay. He's not a guaranteed guy that's going to pop off and throw for 3,000 yards as soon as he starts in the NFL either. So that's something to think about. The only two guys that we're really seeing have any return on investment right now are Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. And obviously Justin Herbert, the huge one, and that is the chase from 2020. And think about last December, guys. Think about right now. December 14th, 2020 compared to December 14th, 2021. How many chase guys were there in, for example, 2020 Prism football? Well, we're talking about all the quarterbacks. There were good 5, maybe 6 or 7. Obviously, people loving Justin Jefferson and others as well. But everybody wanting that Justin Herbert. And now, as we look forward a year, it's basically everybody only wanting Justin Herbert. I'm more happy getting a Justin Jefferson, for instance. And at most points, I'm probably happier getting a Jonathan Taylor rookie card from 2020 Prism than I would be one of those other quarterbacks like Tua or Jalen Hurts. Yamias Low says they're going to 5,600 right now. So the Mac Jones, see, I've been on vacation, you guys. I apologize. I didn't really get a chance to look up the last selling prices on eBay of Mac Jones PSA 10 rated rookies. But last I saw, they were over $1,000, 1,500 plus. And now, as people are saying in the live chat, already on their way down. That's crazy. Well, guys, we are waiting for Target.com to restock. I do have monitors up. Check out Card Snipers if you have not. They're awesome. Highly recommend them. They made my entire card getting experience different online, not just from Target.com, but all sites. So check them out. I've got a link below for them in the description. But yeah, I am checking the monitors. Not seeing anything happening so far on Target.com. Thank you so much to all of you for being here anyways, though. We're just kind of hoping and crossing our fingers, you guys. But hey, make sure you smash that like button for me. Helps me feed 2 kitties named Pikachu and Eevee. And they are back at home right now. Checking them on the nanny cam. They are good to go. Wifey and I saw Eevee running around last night on the nanny cam. So excited to get back home to them as well here in a couple of days. But still nice to spend some time with the in-laws here in Boston, Massachusetts. Kind of relax a little bit, and like you guys have all pointed out, be on East Coast time for this morning restock. It's pretty awesome. Joe Santinello says, receivers do not hold value unless they are the next Randy Moss. You know what? You're right, Joe, and that's sad. That's something that I've addressed on this live stream before. It's frustrating how the market really does make the prices and the specific players on which ones have value sometimes. And I did see somebody asking, Arcot asking about chocolate milk. I do have my chocolate milk right here, man. It's frustrating how the market works. Basically, right now in the current age, only valuing quarterbacks, because he's not wrong. I mean, Joe, I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just frustrating to me that a guy like Justin Jefferson wouldn't hold value. I think Justin Jefferson should be somebody that people are chasing after. And I personally, I've got a few Justin Jefferson parallels. I'm pretty high on him. He's cheap to get. And if I can send those in, once PSA opens up their cheapest service again, hey, let's try to get something out of that. And maybe some of those cards long-term will turn out to be a very solid investment. All right, guys, still looking at the monitors. Nothing, unfortunately, on Target.com as of yet. But a lot going on in the world of sports we can talk about, you guys. Monday Night Football, the Rams upsetting the Cardinals last night. They were slight underdogs on the road. Final 30-23. That was pretty crazy. It's a hard game to predict the outcome of. I know a lot of people were kind of staying away from betting like either the money line or the spread on that game. Player props were the way to go, but shoot, man, I lost $50 on betting Zach Ertz under 41.5 receiving yards, which everybody said he was going to do, and he did do that until late in the fourth quarter, but all of a sudden Kyler Murray threw 2 passes to him, and then he got just over the total of 42 yards, so that screwed me. That was fun. Yummy Us Low says, sell position players as they perform. That is a great way to do so, man. To Elise, it's either quarterback or bust. That's pretty sad. I mean, I agree, man, because it doesn't make, even with the defensive players, you don't understand why some of these guys that are game changers in the NFL week to week, why they would be more sought after for collectors. It's just weird. But you know what? Greed rules. It's all about the money, and I understand. I understand that people are trying to get the biggest bang for their buck, and people are trying to get the biggest return on their cards. And that's obviously become the hot thing in the last 12 months. But yeah, only seeing quarterbacks valued like that, that is super frustrating to me as well. Glad I'm not alone in that. Detroit Demon asking if I've pulled any kabooms yet out of Absolute Football. I have not, unfortunately. I do have some hangers on the way, so I guess we'll see, right? Can absolutely see if I'm going to pull anything like that, but shoot, the kabooms are few and far between, you guys. Kabooms are not easy to find. I've seen a lot of people in my Discord pulling kabooms, and congrats to all of you, seriously. It's pretty awesome, but frustrating for the people that haven't pulled them, for sure. All right, guys, still not seeing anything on the Target.com restock end. Super frustrating. Not sure what's going on, and again this morning. Again, we've got some ad suitability issues. Not sure what YouTube's doing to me. They've been doing that on and off the past 3 weeks, you guys. Hashtag free Schultzy. Johnny says, what's up, Schultzy and peeps? How you doing, man? Super frustrating. For no reason at all, YouTube deems this ineligible with their algorithm, and there's no way that they can fix it. That's the thing, you guys. With issues like that, YouTube's got to be able to step up and fix it a lot sooner and keep people from losing their income like that. It's stupid. Elite Main says, like, Najee Harris is a beast, but his cards are cheap. Yep, exactly. Another great example. So odd. Aaron Donald is a beast. I collect him, says Harold S. I love it. A lot of people chiming in, saying exactly which cards they collect, which is great. I love it. Next year's football draft class is pretty weak. The basketball class has some real interesting players like Chet Holmgren that will generate a lot of hype. See, I've only heard, though, that like Chet Holmgren for the basketball class next year is going to be like the top. And then other than that, it's pretty bleak. So I've heard some different things, but I guess we'll see going forward, because not only are we dependent from year to year on the classes and who's in them and who's getting these hits or not, and how many of these hits are coming in each pack, but the development of the years past guys that we were hoping to see as well. You know, maybe once we see a weak class or two come out, maybe 5 years in the future, we'll see one of those guys that we didn't expect to pop off and go crazy and win an MVP. That could happen. Jay Way says, I had an ad when I just signed in. Well, that's good news. Thanks for letting me know, Jay. Yes, Siski says all other positions don't hold value. It's super frustrating. Would really like it. I think that the market would do better for the hobby if people were willing to pay a little bit more for not necessarily like base rookie cards of all these skill players, but definitely at least throwing a few more bucks down. A Justin Jefferson base rookie card should be worth more than $8, maybe 10, maybe 15. The Justin Herbert's still going for 50. In most cases, I think some of them, maybe like a Mosaic base or like a Donruss Optic base might be going for 40 right now, if I'm not mistaken. Sturge says Chet is falling on the boards. That's what I've heard, and if he's the top of the class, then obviously you're not going to be looking at a very flush group of guys skill-wise, or anybody that's like looking like a future Hall of Famer. And remember, guys, and Yasiel Puig, Major League Baseball player, I guess I should say, former Major League Baseball player that just signed with either like a Korean or a Japanese team. Remember how some of these guys are hyped coming into the league, right? Selling those cards at the peak of their hype, like maybe a Mac Jones right now, is usually a better idea, or I guess maybe 2 weeks ago is usually a better idea than holding on to those guys long term, because look what happens to so many players that are deemed future stars, future Hall of Famers in their first or second season by the media and fans. They end up being, they're not terrible, but they only end up being like maybe an everyday player or a platoon player. Or like in the NBA, they might, start in the NBA, but they only end up playing 10 seasons and then their body gives out, or they just don't want to do it anymore. Or they only end up, playing 20, 25 minutes a game, which I say only, you're still a very successful NBA player if you're doing that. However, that's not really a comparison to the superstardom that people were predicting earlier in your career. So remember how many players we've said that about in all sports, and how many players just end up as, everyday guys that we really don't talk about much anymore. That happens a lot. Sturch Lisa's truth. Robert Alston says, can't never get lucky with a box from Target, but I tune in for Schultzy News. I appreciate that, Robert. You rock, man. Thank you so much, you guys. And 7:14 right now here on Schultzy's Card Pulls on the East Coast. 4:14 West Coast time. To all you West Coasties, I appreciate you being up so early. Seriously, I know it is hard. I do it every single week, but this week I got to sleep in a little bit. It's kind of fun. Yao says, let's be honest, who in here thought Mac Jones was going to be a bust? I want to see how many of you guys were wrong. I mean, I wasn't looking at him. I fell into the hype. I think that Mac Jones, as far as the tier of quarterbacks on, like, if we're looking at the top 5 guys that were coming out quarterback-wise this year, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Jones, Trey Landry, Mac Jones. I would have to go, like, at the beginning of the year, Mac Jones for me was 3rd on that list. And you guys, I shouldn't have thrown him to the wolves immediately, thinking, you know what, Alabama is kind of like New England light. Actually was talking with somebody here about that, how Alabama, it's a very similar type of structure that Bill Belichick has going on in New England for the Patriots week to week. So Mac Jones would fit in well there, and the way that Bill Belichick has conservatively used him, it hasn't been exciting. but it has allowed him to look as good as he could so far this season. Landon says, anything on the back end right now? Nothing right now on the back end, unfortunately, at Target.com. We are not seeing anything happening as of yet, but I will let you know as soon as we see anything popping off. I've seen toys, obviously, because it's the holiday season. We're going to see a lot of toys stocking, but other than that, unfortunately, have not seen anything sports card-wise today. And once again, guys, I'm not really sure what to expect. After that really weird restock that we all waited 3 weeks for, you would hope that Target's going to turn around before either the holiday season or the end of the year and do a nice, huge restock and make up for everything that we were waiting for that we didn't get last week. But you just don't know. And it was frustrating. I saw a couple people early on, right after I posted the chat, says, "Oh, Schultzy, you're just up here doing it for the money." Like, no, dude, I'm getting up because I get up every single week after there's a restock, hoping there's going to be a restock again the next week. Do you guys not know how this works, man? We're all trying to score as many sports cards as possible. So, at least for me, I'm going to be up every single day that I think that there is a chance. And today, I think there's a chance. Oh, no way. Eric Juarez, dude, such a generous guy. Eric, a $9.99 super chat. Dude, thank you. Merry Christmas, man. Thanks for doing this for us. I appreciate you. And I've been lucky to snag cards manually, but you've helped me since I found your channel a couple weeks ago. Keep up the great content. Eric, dude, that warms my heart, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays to everybody out there. Dude, Eric, you rock. You rock, man. Thank you. Nick S. asking, do I work for Target? No, I do not work for Target. That's a good question, though. Joe says, swap Jones and Lawrence. The Pats are 10-0. I don't know, Joe. Trevor does not look like he actually knows what he's doing. I don't know if that's Herb, but he looks like he's in over his head right now, man. He does. Dunk Card says Urban Meyer told the Jags coaching staff that he's a winner and they're all lovers. Yeah, he didn't call the Jaguars coaches losers. That didn't happen. Urban Meyer having to deny that report earlier this week. So yeah, lots going on, you guys. Lots of sports news to talk about, including the Urban Meyer crazy debacle that is the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. It's kind of at this point an over-under on how long he's going to last as a head coach. Joe says, wait for Lawrence and ETN Jr. All right. Pretty high on those Jacksonville Jags rookies. I mean, I'm willing to see where they go, man. It's obviously way too early on in their careers to say whether or not they're a bust. But, yeah, so far, Trevor Lawrence, I would like to point out Peyton Manning went 3-13 in his rookie season and then went 13-3 the next year for the Indianapolis Colts after taking number 2 overall behind Ryan Leaf. And you know what? Maybe Trevor Lawrence will have a similar bounce-back year. Who am I to say? E-Man says, just got online. Any sign of a drop today? Hey, E-Man, not really sure that we're going to see anything so far. We've got about 30 minutes left waiting around the time that we would see a restock. And at this point, I have not seen any activity on the back end right now, but I will let you know if there is anything that's loaded out of stock or if there are any products that y'all should know about that we should get ready for. Tommy Two Dimes says the Jags need an O-line. That's true, man, but unfortunately, that's isn't that the problem of half the teams in the NFL? That they either don't know how to put together a solid enough offensive line or there's just too many injuries week to week for those guys to actually sustain a decent level of play. Seems to be one of the issues in the NFL that a lot of teams deal with. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yellow Elephant says Mahomes sat the bench his rookie season. Very true. See, you guys, it really could go either way. Trevor Lawrence could become the next Peyton Manning. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but there have been guys that have performed terribly their rookie season that have gone on to be great. There are guys that have performed amazing their rookie season that have gone on to be terrible. I saw somebody earlier mentioning Robert Griffin. Great example. Very nice guy, but, I don't know if it was just the hype in the NFL or the game kind of passed him by after people got tape on him. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes as a rookie, teams don't know what to expect. You come out very explosive, very exciting, something they haven't seen. Then during the offseason, they go and watch all the film on you and they figure you out. And then unfortunately, you're just not able really to take it to the next level because that's the game of sports, you guys. It's kind of like when you talk about baseball, people that strike out, usually they go in and they watch their pitches afterwards to see, what They swung at what the pitcher was doing, where they were locating, so they maybe know what to expect next time. It's the same exact thing with a game of football. You're always trying to find an advantage, and the smartest guys usually are watching the most film and are sitting there keying in on exactly what they think a weakness is going to be for a particular player, especially a game changer at the time, like the rookie of the year, Robert Griffin. Crazy, man. The Collector says Brady didn't play his rookie season. Obviously, very true. Very true that Brady did not play. I mean, Brady was a skinny 6th-round pick, you guys. Wasn't Cleo Lemon taken before Tom Brady? Wasn't Sturgeon the quarterback's, like, what was it? Sturgeon Wills or Sturgeon Will? I'm totally screwing up his name, but there's another quarterback. There was T. Martin that was taken before Tom Brady. There's so many guys taken before Tom Brady, man. Crazy. Elite Main says Gardner Minshew is better than Trevor Lawrence. I mean, after that performance that he had filling in for Jalen Hurts last weekend, not this Sunday, but the Sunday before, just coming out and scoring a ton of points for the Eagles, looking like a very solid and steady quarterback under center. You wonder. Spurgeon win. Thank you. Spurgeon win. I was totally screwing up his name. Thanks, you guys. Yeah, Spurgeon win. Thank you for the assist there. I appreciate it. But yeah, I think Wynn was taken in like the 3rd or 4th round. Martin was taken in either the 4th or 5th round. Chris Redman, I believe, was taken above Tom Brady, if I'm not mistaken. Ken says Tua is learning and getting better. He just needs to stay healthy, too. That's the problem that Tua's had. He hasn't been able to stay on the field week to week. HT Sports says Urban Meyer is a clown. I know a lot of people feel that way, you guys. Ivan says RG3 did not study film, more focused on his athleticism than studying the game. Yeah, and apparently, as we all figured out, he didn't have that like Michael Vick level of running ability, where Vick early on in his career didn't have to watch film. He just outran guys, and I think the point that you're making, Ivan, is that RG3 thought he was going to be able to do the same thing, and he had done it up to that point in his life. Why would that change? So you understand that mindset from some guys, but it's like, oh man, it's the NFL, man. You got to put it all in, 110%. But that's not the philosophy of all these guys, obviously. They get their money. They're happy. Some are disappointed that they didn't make it. Some aren't. It's the way it goes. Danny, all in on Tua, says Tua's a franchise quarterback. Give him time. I love it. I love the faith you guys got in Tua. I mean, seriously, he has not had enough of a chance. Hasn't been able to play week to week enough because of injuries. So we got to see a full season from Tua Tagovailoa before we can actually say what his true value is going forward, I think. Paul Monster says Minshew is like an S-ier version of Nick Foles. LOL, that's great. Nick Foles, though, how many Super Bowl teams has he been on? And how many times has he turned into the starter in the NFL for how many different teams? Yeah. GRA Sports Card says, well, no drop, guys. Going back to sleep. Thanks, Schultzy. No worries, man. Yeah, we got about 25 minutes left or so in the hot zone, but we're not seeing anything happening right now online. I'll let y'all know as soon as I do, if that changes, you guys. And as we wait for cards to drop on Target.com, I got to let you know about the sponsor of today's stream, Otis. As most of y'all know, the price of all kinds of sports cards, other collectibles out there, have gone absolutely nuts the past year. Base rookies, easy to get, but you're looking at spending a pretty penny. Like, I'm talking thousands of dollars if you want to get your hands on a rookie auto parallel of Justin Herbert or LaMelo Ball or some awesome player like that. There's so many of us out there who are diehard fans who would love to own these cards, but simply don't have the funds for some of these expensive items. That's where our sponsor Otis comes in. Otis is an investment platform where almost anyone can buy and sell shares of rare collectibles, comics, graded games, and of course, rare sports cards. To get started, all you got to do is download their app and sign up for free using the link in the description. They've got over 100 rare collectibles to choose from, including some of the rarest graded games, comics, contemporary art, and sports cards. One of my favorite assets on the platform, you guys. It's crazy that this even exists, but it is a entire 132 card set of PSA 10s in the 86 Fleer basketball card release. Michael Jordan PSA 10 rookie card, as well as a ton of other iconic cards, all in a PSA 10. They look absolutely pristine. The value is over 400 grand, but Otis has all kinds of stuff like that. So here's how it works. You can earn a potential return by either selling shares of those products to other members on the Otis platform, or if Otis sells one of the underlying assets you invested in for more than the price you paid. So whether you're a longtime collector or just looking to get in, I definitely recommend you check Otis out and make sure you use the link in my description so you get your first share free. Terms apply. Josh Rosen punching the air. That's funny. Yeah, Josh Rosen has failed in the NFL, unfortunately, as a quarterback. That's the first comment that I saw after the read, so had to respond. Who Dat Dog at ya says, gotta remember Tua's missing his main two receivers most years. Lucky Waddle developed nicely. Very true, man. Yeah, Jalen Waddle is turning out to be okay. PNW asking a great question. How many shares of Otis I own? So I initially invested $50 and then threw a little bit more money on. So I've got different pieces of like that Michael Jordan inclusion of a PSA 10 in that 86 Fleer basketball card set. I own 2 shares of that because they're running about $20 each. So, and then I have another share of the Mike Trout 9.5 Bowman Chrome Auto from Beckett that's up on the site as well. Just absolutely beautiful. And it's fun. You can own a piece of those. I recommend you check it out. Brad Selden says, eat JS. I appreciate that, man. And yeah, guys, make sure, as Brad says every single week, you gently caress that like button for me. Helps me feed a couple kitties named Pikachu and Eevee. Detroit says, so did Sam Darnold. Yeah, Sam Darnold, man, the chance that he got in Carolina ended pretty quickly, right? What was that? A 9-week second opportunity for Sam Darnold? Yikes. Yikes. Obviously not really meant to be an NFL quarterback, or at least it's not up to the level right now. Oh, Dunk Card says, Schultzy, how about Jamarcus Russell studying blank tapes? Oh my goodness. So if you guys haven't heard this story, Jamarcus Russell, former number 1 overall pick out of LSU at the time to the Oakland Raiders. And still nothing on the back end of Target.com, you guys. I'm trying to see if there is anything happening this morning as we're live, and I have not caught anything yet, but I will let you know if that changes as soon as it changes. But anyways, so Jamarcus Russell, highly touted prospect, supposed to be a really good quarterback in the NFL, handed the reins pretty much immediately in Oakland, and not only had a problem with his weight and with his work ethic, but just had a problem with straight up lying as well, because at one point the Oakland Raiders were so sick of him not showing up, studying any teams that they were playing throughout the season, not seeing anything that they were doing on defense, not knowing what to expect, not knowing what packages to read, and they wanted to try and catch him to see if he was actually watching his film or not. So what they did is the Oakland Raiders sent home blank tapes of that week's opponent. Jamarcus Russell came back the next day, and the coaches were like, "Hey, what'd you think of those? What'd you think of those coverages?" And Jamarcus Russell says, "Looks great. I'm ready to go." And the coaches, of course, know at that moment that he is a lying fool, and that was the beginning of the end for Jamarcus Russell in the NFL. CNC Fire Polls asking if anything's backloaded yet. No, unfortunately, nothing has been backloaded yet. Clay says, when you look at the Panthers now, Darnold played better than Cam is. I don't know, man. I think both of them, like, Cam's played, 2 games? So I guess you could say after that comeback in his first game, going right back to a mediocre level, pretty on the level with Sam Darnold before that. So I'm not sure one's been better than the other. I think Carolina just holding their head above water at the quarterback position right now at this point. Matt Rule, not sure what to do, man. He was supposed to fix that organization after Ron Rivera, or they let Ron Rivera go. He didn't leave, they let him go. Crazy how that works, right, you guys? Ron Rivera was supposedly done in Carolina, and they were supposedly going to do so much better after he left, and they gave the job to a younger, more savvy head coach, given his first opportunity in the NFL, really hungry like Matt Rule. Where are they? They're nowhere. Patrick says 2 games. Think he's played 4. Well, see, that's how unbelievably mediocre he's been, that I didn't even realize he's played double the amount of games he's actually played in. So my bad. My apologies. CNC Firepole says, dang, appreciate you doing this every morning, brother. You're so welcome, man. It's fun for me, you guys. Marie Montgomery says, Ryan Leaf, the ultimate bust. Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf, the first overall pick over Peyton Manning. And we all know how that ended up. And if you don't, Ryan Leaf ended his career in the NFL as basically a backup on 2 or 3 other teams than the one he was drafted by, the San Diego Chargers. Was let go after 2.5 seasons, I think, by the Chargers. Was just absolutely abysmal in his rookie year, but still got the job to start his second season. And then just after a few games, the Chargers said, no, we're done. We're done. Hughes says, anything yet, anyone? No, unfortunately, not seeing anything yet on Target.com. But like I said, guys, I'm watching the monitors. I'm watching everything happen, and I'll let you all know if and when that changes, and as soon as it does. Smash that like button for me, guys. Appreciate you. Helps me feed 2 kitties named Pikachu and Eevee. Oh, Manning was 1, Leaf was 2. God, sorry, guys. I'm screwing that one up. False, Manning was first. Yeah, duh. Obviously, man, that's like a dumb mistake. Where's Tony Reali, like, on the end of Pardon the Interruption back in the day when he would do the corrections? I need that. I appreciate you guys. You're my Tony Reali's right now. Card Shark says, Money Manziel was the biggest bust, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, man. Tim Couch was drafted 2nd overall, or I think he was the top 3 going to Cleveland also. Pretty big bust there. iClaw asking how long I'm in Massachusetts for. I'm in Massachusetts until Thursday afternoon. Boonon Kid says, how about the Sonics coming back to Seattle? That would be amazing. The Oklahoma City Thunder, when they left Seattle and became the Thunder, they did leave all of the properties back in Seattle, so the Supersonics becoming a team again is a legitimate thing that could happen. The Gleason's asking, yeah, didn't Ryan Leaf go to jail? Yes, he did. He's turned it around, though. I think he's doing just fine, sober now, competing against, like, every other sportscaster for jobs. He's trying to be a color analyst. He's trying to be in the world of sports media, so it's like so many other athletes. Kayla says David Carr sucked. Yeah, nobody talks about David Carr anymore. Houston Texans, first draft pick ever. Derek Carr's older brother. Nobody really talks about how amazing Derek Carr is and how really awful and mediocre his older brother David was. I think he had 3-4 seasons in Houston before they decided to cut bait on him, and he turned into a career backup after that. Somebody asking about the Seahawks, others saying that Russell Wilson definitely going to leave. Yeah, I think Russell Wilson wants out of Seattle, you guys. Where do you think Russell Wilson's going to end up? There's a lot of possibilities there. A lot of possibilities indeed. And if Seattle has an opening at the quarterback position, you think they're going to turn around and go young, or you think they're going to go out and Aaron Rodgers obviously wants out of Green Bay after this season, right? And even if he does end up staying another year, who knows? Maybe Seattle or Denver would end up taking a chance on him. Jared Goff is already a bust, says Elite Main. What about Matt Leinart, says Irish Native 916. Oof, Matt Leinart, wasn't he the 6th or 7th overall pick to the Arizona Cardinals back in the day? Coming out of USC, was supposed to be the guy, the sexy, stereotypical quarterback, and got the look, he's got the arm, supposed to be one of the best in the NFL at the time, right? Well, unfortunately, that didn't happen. Russell to Las Vegas, please trade away Carr. That's funny. Yeah, I'm sure you want that one. Russell to Pittsburgh, yeah, because Ben Roethlisberger probably done at the end of this season, right? Clint Phelps says, is Otis a Fortune 500 company yet? That's a great question. I don't think they are, but they should be, man. Otis actually, you know, guys, they are pretty cool because Otis, I've seen some people saying like, Otis is a scam and whatnot. No, it's not. And here's why. All of these assets are registered as securities with the SEC. So this isn't just like a shot in the dark kind of a thing. This is all legitimate and it's connected and regulated. So you don't have to worry about any of that. All right. So all those people saying that, you're wrong. But yeah, guys, nothing so far on Target.com. It is 7:36 East Coast time right now, 4:36 West Coast time, and we are not seeing anything happening so far. I apologize, but it's looking pretty bleak for this morning. But we can hang. It's Christmas. We can hang. Continue talking sports for another 20, 30 minutes or so, just to make sure there is no restock this morning. Goovier Cage says, Goff not exactly a bust. He went to the Super Bowl. I don't know. I guess I couldn't call him a full-on bust, but he performed pretty terribly in that Super Bowl. I mean, that Super Bowl was boring. Low-scoring game. Nobody was doing anything. Just not a fun contest at all. And, of course, the Patriots won. Raymond Cabrera, hey, Schultzy, first time here. What's up, Raymond? Recommended by my nephew, is wondering where you're based out of. Well, I am actually based out of Portland, Oregon, but I'm visiting my in-laws right now, so this isn't quite my normal setup. On the East Coast right now in Boston, Massachusetts. So I will be here until Thursday, and then we'll be back home for next week for the final weeks of the year. Probably going to take a couple days off, though, to be honest, because I'm assuming there is going to be a restock, but you know, I really would like to sleep in with the wifey for the end of the year. She's taking some time off, so I think I owe it to her to take some time off as well. Card Shark says, Kim K ruined Reggie Bush. Nah, man, Reggie Bush was a great athlete, and early on in his career had a lot of success in the NFL. More so than he did later in his career, because he did do okay later in his career, but it was mostly kind of like an athletic burst guy or somebody to come in, change the energy. He just wasn't ever able to be a long-term featured back in the NFL. I mean, he wasn't horrible, but that's an example right there. Reggie Bush, somebody that a Heisman Trophy winner was supposed to be the guy coming out of USC, right? Supposed to be the next Emmitt Smith, people were saying. He's going to break all kinds of rushing records. And he ended up being pretty much an everyday NFL starter, but nothing more than that. And then a backup at the end of his career and a guy to come in and change the speed of the game. So Reggie Bush, one of those other guys, a perfect example of somebody that we put a lot of stock in at the beginning of their career. And they don't turn out bad. They just turn out kind of mediocre. It happens. Charlie's Collectibles says too many injuries. That's very true. And you guys realize the NFL average career length is less than 4 seasons still, right? We're talking like 3.5 or 3.7 years in the NFL is what the average guy is going to be playing. Not a lot of opportunity to make a lot of money there. So guys trying to do as much as they can, as quick as they can. Injuries are going to happen. And you're getting hit by a Mack truck every weekend 20 times. So, of course, injuries are going to happen. To us, his Bush wishes he was Emmett. I'm sure he does, but go back. You can find clips. I'm not just making this up. You can find clips of all of these sportscasters saying, like, oh, guys, Reggie Bush, he's going to change the NFL, man. When this guy gets there, they're not going to know what to do with him with NFL defenses. He's just going to run through them. He's going to run around them. He's going to fool every single person. Go back. Reggie Bush was supposed to be, like, one of the game changers in the NFL. So, Who Dat Dog at you says, okay, I'm out off to bed. Thanks for streaming. Have a good day, all. You're so welcome, man. Appreciate you. Go grab some rest. Be back tomorrow bright and early. PNW says, you were wondering why earlier people only invest in quarterbacks. Well, it's not like we were just talking about all the quarterbacks that were busts earlier, too. I mean, you go by that logic, then PNW, would you have bought a Tim Couch? I guess they didn't really exist like they do now back in 1998, but if they did, would you have bought a Tim Couch auto relic? for like a grand or two? Come on. Come on. Detroit Demon says Ben Simmons ruined himself. He doesn't want to improve. Ooh, Ben Simmons conversation. We could have some hot Ben Simmons talk, guys. I like that. Ben Simmons wanting out of Philadelphia, saying that they have not respected his mental health or his wishes. You know, I want to be an advocate of mental health. I want to make sure that everybody out there gets, you know, if you need help, if you need to go talk to somebody, do it. However, when you are an athlete that has had the entire hopes of a franchise been put on you into the form of a $20-30 million a year contract, and that's obviously what the Sixers have done with Ben Simmons, and they're telling you, hey, we need you to develop in this way. Hey, we need you to try shooting more threes. Hey, we need you to do this. We need you to be a team player. You show up and you do it. You know, you don't talk about how they're not respecting you or struggling or that kind of thing. If they're paying you that kind of money, you got to show up and you got to be the guy, period. So, it's a simple take, but man, Ben Simmons, I hate to see that happening to any kind of person having issues with mental health, but at some point, you've just got to step up and perform if you're a professional athlete like that. That's what they're paid to do. And guys, being a professional athlete, is it, when you're paid that much money, like, is your life that hard? I've been to practices. I've covered these guys. I've asked them questions. If you're the top 8, 9, 10 guys on an NBA roster, you know, if you're coming off the bench playing every game at the minimum, your life is okay. And your life is fairly easy. So, not sure what's going on with Ben Simmons, but that guy's got to step up and play. And it's kind of funny that so many other teams would be willing to take on Ben Simmons, because if he's not willing to play for the Sixers, what would say that in a year, if like the Portland Trailblazers ended up getting him, he would just stop playing for them for some other reason. Detroit Demon says, Simmons practicing with his phone in his pocket. Like, come on, man. Yeah, that's just bad. It's like a kid in class that just doesn't want to take the test, that keeps looking at his computer, keeps looking at his phone. Like, dude, get the hell out. You're not focused. But this, once again, is a guy that's getting millions upon tens of millions of dollars a year. So, just sign up for the wrong line of work, buddy. Like, what's going on, Ben Simmons? You knew what to expect getting into the NBA. At least you had people telling you what to expect. Whether you listened to them or not, I don't know. All right, guys, 7:43 on the East Coast. Not seeing anything happening. Looking less and less likely with each minute passing that we're seeing a restock on Target.com. But you know what? Means we'll be back tomorrow, talking more sports, hoping to see something before Christmas Day, because I know everybody trying to grab those presents. I get it. Detroit Demon says, I'm not saying he's bad. He's ruining his legacy. He's a really good player. Ivan says, don't hate on Ben. How else are you going to take selfies in practice? That's funny. That's a good joke. Jose saying Kyrie Irving is a bust. I don't think he's a bust, but if you're not on the court, then you're obviously not going to be getting any second massive contract coming your way here in another 3 years, like most guys at the age of 33, 34 are going to get at that talent level. Ooh, Kicks for Life. Good point. Darren McFadden was another running back bust. Yes, he was. Sal773 says, Kendall Jenner will ruin Devin Booker. Watch. Yeah, the Kardashian curse. I know, some people thinking that. Kim ruining multiple people, in someone's opinion, like obviously Reggie Bush and then Chris Humphries. The list goes on. The Amazing Card Ninja says, Absolute Hangers weren't a part of a Target drop. Those were canceled orders and you got some. The Amazing Card Ninja, dude, the hangers were dropped in, I think, 25,000 in total, and there were bundles of 2, so there were actually 50,000 Absolute Hangers. Or are you talking like in store? Did I miss that? Maybe I missed that part. Marie Montgomery says, Schultzy, how about Julius Randle? Most improved to a hot mess. Whew. Yeah, that's a guy that, I don't know if you just let the fame get to you, you end up partying too much or what. I don't know as much about him off the court, Julius Randle, but yeah, I do know that he absolutely just turned into a liability. No doubt. Oh, Roberto, you're so nice, man. Says, I love your Discord, Schultzy. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much, man. All right, guys, a couple more minutes left in the hot zone. Let you know if anything pops up here on the end, but we're not seeing it, unfortunately. But in case you guys missed it, not only did Monday Night Football happen last night with the Rams beating the Cardinals 30-23, but the site of Super Bowl 58 in 2024 was announced. Las Vegas going to be the host of that. Going to be pretty fun. Obviously, the NFL wanting to get the big game in their newest stadium as soon as possible. And kind of, I'm also thinking make up for that huge NFL draft party that was supposed to be happening in Vegas in 2020. I mean, you guys remember that? We were supposed to see, like, these players going up on a boat past the Bellagio's fountains up to, like, this huge built stage. It was supposed to be pretty cool for the draft in 2020 in Vegas. That, because the pandemic, just did not happen. Thanks, Tommy. You had an awesome day as well, buddy. So yeah, the Super Bowl in Vegas coming in 2024. Here this year, it's going to be in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium. And then we've got 2022, Los Angeles Stadium is going to be the host. And then in 2023, State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, home of the Arizona Cardinals. But now we know the Raiders are going to be hosting the 58th Super Bowl coming up in 2024. Get ready for a crazy party in Vegas for Super Bowl 58. It's going to be nuts. And I do have to sound off on this, you guys. I'm sure you all saw the news. If you aren't new to the channel, you know that I'm a Ducks fan. Huge Oregon Ducks football fan. But if you are new to the channel, well, now you know I'm a massive Ducks fan. And the college football carousel turning and turning and turning this weekend. Mario Cristobal obviously leaving the Ducks a couple of weeks ago, go back home to Miami. But the Ducks did fill the position. Dan Lanning, defensive coordinator from Georgia, going to be the next football coach for Oregon. 35 years old, very well regarded. So a young dude, but very well regarded for his recruiting skills and high energy guy as well. It's another unknown for the Ducks, and they've done well with the unknowns their past few hires, so we'll see how this guy that I had no idea about 3 weeks ago takes the program. But hopefully he doesn't leave Oregon in 5 years, because that's been happening. Also, it's Willie Taggart and Mario Cristobal leaving to go back to their Florida schools and using the Ducks as a stepping stone. So hopefully this coach does not use the Ducks as a stepping stone. And yes, I did see somebody asking, a couple people already answering, but yes, hangers do have kabooms. That is true. Hangers do have kabooms. So very, very, I guess, good opportunity in, I think, every single version of Absolute Football to find a kaboom, because there's a lot of Absolute out there, but the odds are very slim. So beware. I would pick up some Absolute to go kaboom hunting, but don't buy hundreds upon hundreds of dollars worth of it because the odds are so slim. You're gonna end up chasing that card and then ending up spending $500 before you pull one. So don't fall into that trap. Brian says, buy, no drop. Maybe tomorrow. Have a safe trip. Thanks so much, Brian. I appreciate you, buddy. Tim says, quack, 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 yeah. The Ducks quacking away indeed. Sorry, guys. There we go. The Ducks quacking away indeed with that hire. But I gotta say, it's frustrating, once again, seeing the second coach leaving for a Florida school. The Ducks kind of, up until 7 years ago, had always hired from within, and they actually had a tradition of promoting their offensive coordinator each time they had a head coaching vacancy. Rich Brooks gave the job to Mike Bellotti, who was his offensive coordinator. Mike Bellotti then handed the job to Chip Kelly, who's his offensive coordinator. And then when Chip Kelly left for the NFL, Mark Helfrich, his offensive coordinator, took over and did all right. I mean, took the Ducks to the national championship game, but unfortunately wasn't able to really fill the cupboards with any recruits. So ended up having a miserable, I think it was like a 4-8 season for the Ducks the year he got fired. It was just terrible. That forced them to go outside of their organization for the first time in a long time. Sorry, guys, camera's being wacky. But that forced them to go outside of their organization for the first time in quite a bit and hire Willie Taggart, who ended up leaving the Ducks after one season. Leaving the Ducks, man. Here, guys, I'll fix that in just a second. But, and that was after a lot of controversies, not limited to players ending up in the hospital during early season workouts. All right, guys, so it looks like the hot zone is officially over. Nothing happening on Target.com, but I guess we'll see tomorrow. Sean MC says, Chip going back to the Ducks. I don't think that's happening, man. Unfortunately, I do not think Chip will ever come back to Oregon unless the job becomes open again in like 2 years, because the timing just, it was right this time. And I know that he interviewed along with Justin Wilcox from Cal and Solani from BYU, a couple other guys as well. But other than that, the Ducks didn't really talk to many people, and I hadn't even heard the name Dan Lanning. So it was pretty crazy to see that come out of nowhere. But a young energy guy, after now Mario Cristobal, when Willie Taggart left to go take the job at Florida State, didn't even coach in the bowl game, leaving it for Mario Cristobal. 4 years ago, he said that he would have to be dragged away kicking and screaming from the University of Oregon. However, Miami came calling, and that didn't end up happening. So all it took was his alma mater bringing him back. And I'm sorry, I think both of them are hypocrites. I think that's a pretty unpopular take, but gosh, when you say that kind of stuff, why even say it if 4 or 5 years later something's going to change? I understand we all get emotional, but like if we're going to live and die on what these coaches and these players are saying and they don't even mean it, why have these press conferences? Super frustrating. Super frustrating as a Ducks fan. As a sports fan, I personally love it when guys, players or coaches, stay with their teams for their entire careers. I know that's not realistic, but I enjoy it. So that's just me. Well, I appreciate all you. If you are going to stick around for a few more minutes with me, make sure you hit that like button. And if you don't, then I appreciate you. Go on back to bed or go on to work. Take the kids to school, whatever you got to do. I appreciate it, you guys. Heath said Miami was always Mario's dream job. It's the only job that he would have left for. Yeah, you know what? Then I guess I got to also be upset at Manny Diaz for not getting the job done either, because that is on Manny Diaz. And it's also frustrating when a guy like that, who literally was just handed the keys to a major program in the U, and only 3 seasons later ends up getting fired. But, oh, you know what, dude? You're still good enough to be the defensive coordinator for another really good team in Penn State. Like, are you kidding me? You get fired from such a huge job with high expectations like that and then put right into another one with slightly less expectation, like slightly less large expectations, but still Penn State known for their defensive prowess, still into a situation where you're like, oh, well, that guy's going to succeed just fine. He screwed up the last 3 years, but, you know, he won't be a great head coach, but he'll be a great coordinator, whatever. Maybe that's just my bias talking. Maybe because Oregon's coach left to go replace him, I think he should be back in D3 football. Maybe that's not logical, but that's my emotions talking. And I will probably never stop thinking about those kinds of moves as a sports fan like that, unfortunately. Definitely a shortcoming of mine. Dunk Card says, Schultzy, don't cry about coaches. I'm a Louisville fan. Look at Rick Pitino and Bobby Petrino. I mean, at least you had the success, before all the drama, you know? Especially with Patino and the paying of recruits along with the huge NCAA scandal that went public 4 years ago. But, at least he had all that success before then. The amazing Card Ninja chiming in again about Urban Meyer. Urban is a bum. Urban is a bum. That's awesome. And as far as the NFL goes, probably accurate. But just like Manny Diaz, you guys, if Urban Meyer fails in the NFL, he's still going to be a very hot coaching candidate in the world of college football. In fact, there were some Oregon fans when the Mario Cristobal left for the Miami job. When the Oregon job came open, they were saying, hey, grab Urban Meyer, let's go. And I'm like, why? I wanted them to hire Chip Kelly back. That was my personal wish, but they did interview him, but didn't happen. And like I said, unfortunately now, I don't think that is ever going to happen going forward. All right, guys, I'm going to stay on just a few more minutes this morning and then get on out of here. I'll be back bright and early, though, tomorrow. Sorry again to everybody out there. I know that you're expecting a restock and didn't get one. I apologize. Especially after last Thursday. That was just disappointing, man. Seeing people talking about grading in the live chat. Joe says, nah, everybody still wants PSA. If you collect other grading, they just don't have the same value. Yeah, guys, PSA still tops. It kind of goes like PSA, Beckett, and then everything else as far as grading. And Roger706 says, Nick Saban sucked in the NFL. Yeah, and you know what? Good for him for being such a great coach, but that guy is a sleazy human being. What did he say? Like, I'm not going to be the Alabama head coach. I'm not going to be the Alabama head coach over and over and over and over again. Like, I don't know. I just... Why do we even have these press conferences in the first place and ask these players and coaches anything? If it's just like, why are we doing this charade? Why do we need these quotes if we're just going to hear BS? So, and the Nick Saban quotes from the time he left Miami for Alabama go along with that argument as well. Vegas Stackers says, I bet my local Target restocks today. Dude, I hope it does. That'd be awesome. Joe says he's going to check his right now. Brett C says, if you type in hockey cards into the descriptions, you'll see O-Pee-Chee not listed in your link. Oh, hey, I appreciate that, man. See if I can find that and add some O-Pee-Chee. Down in the description for tomorrow's stream, we do have all of the most recent releases linked down in the description so y'all can find them. And hopefully we're going to see some Mosaic soon. I'm assuming we're going to see some Chronicles basketball before that, though. And then after the first of the year, guys, Prism, Mosaic, and Optic football all coming our way still. So don't you worry, just because it seems like a downtime in the sports card release universe right now, there will be tons coming our way in the next few weeks. Once again, I predict one more, and I think it's going to be a big one more big restock before Christmas. And then after Christmas, we're going to see all these products dropping on Target.com. And you guys are going to be week to week to week talking about like, oh my gosh, it's this premium release. Oh my gosh, it's this one. So I know we're down a little bit for the holidays right now, but just you wait, guys. Just you wait. And as we finish up this morning, winding down, unfortunately not seeing cards from Target.com, just another quick word from our sponsor, Otis. As I mentioned earlier, Otis is an investment platform where you can buy and sell shares of rare collectibles, comics, graded games, and most importantly, rare sports cards. They've got over 100 collectibles to choose from, and 3 of my personal favorites on the platform are a LeBron James Beckett 10 Signatures Auto, just a beautiful rookie Signatures Auto card, then a Mike Trout First Bowman Chrome Auto 9.5 Gem Mint, and then a first edition Charizard PSA 10. They're all beautiful, and Otis has all kinds of great cards like that and more. And I've got a special gift for everyone watching. If you use the link down in the description below, signing up with that, you'll get your first share on Otis. Terms apply. Somebody talking about grading saying, check out FCG. There are a couple new grading companies coming out, guys, so you can send your cards in to different slabs. However, once again, to warn you, the values will be different and will be lower for everything but PSA, but I understand because of the PSA weight and only taking express cards still, we're hoping that they're going to open up their $20 tier soon, but who knows when that's going to be. People still trying to go grade those cards with those other companies, but once again, they will be lower value. So just so y'all know. Fast Eddie P says, you guys don't need links, right? You know that. You can just search sports cards, filter, sold by Target, and including out of stock. And the cool thing, Fast Eddie P, I've got everything that you just said. You don't even have to do the options. I've done it all for you up in the best search link up in the description and the pinned comment in the chat. So 2 different spots for you all to find it. So you really don't need the links. You just keep refreshing that searched page. And you should be able to see what at least goes back out of stock or back on to Target.com after it hasn't been there, like Optic. They usually take that off. But if you monitor this search link, you'll be able to see if you keep refreshing when that stuff pops up again. All right, guys, 8:01 East Coast time, 5:01 Pacific time. I'm going to get out of here. It's been a nice hour plus this morning talking sports with y'all, hoping to see if we see a restock from Target.com, but unfortunately, we're just not today. And I appreciate you guys. Wheels has liked the new Christmas setup. Thank you, man. Somebody else said they liked the lights. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Trying to be festive. I love the holidays, man. But thank you all, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Got a bunch of stuff to do today. We'll be back live early tomorrow once again. So make sure that you're ready to go if you have any questions about like Target red cards or procedures on how to get cards on Target.com. Please let me know. Check out the Discord below. It's free, and we got the same community in there. Almost 1,000 people in there right now. The same community of people hanging during the live streams that are there all week, basically exchanging pictures of where they see cards, what got restocked near them. It's really great information, and it's a really fun, free community to be a part of, so check it out below. And yeah, once again, guys, if you have any questions about any of that Target stuff, ask me on there, and I will do my best to help you out. Thank you again. See y'all tomorrow. Make sure you're all safe out there. It is a crazy world right now. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Make sure you're up bright and early Wednesday morning. Schultzy's card pulls out.